Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darusum Chauskas. Today is the 11th of October 2018. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments. As always, of course, their chart, but as always, before we do that, quickly let's jump into our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay guys, let's jump into the charts. So the first one I want to touch on is the Dow Jones. Now, of course, the big topic here today, and of course started from yesterday. So the big topic is the equity markets. Now, as you can see, they're kind of taking a bit of a hit here recently. So from the technical point of view here, looking at the daily chart, so the index here, the Dow Jones, was trading here above the short-term upside support line taken from the 28th of June. So broke it nicely to the downside. This was the area that we were talking about, and I was covering this one in one of my videos. I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this potential level here, the 26,165. So we had a nice breakthrough that, again, like I said, broke through this upside support line and also took out the another key important area of support around the 25,800 zone. Now this was marked here near the lows that we saw around the beginning of September. So for now, of course, keep your eyes on this one. Keep your eyes on that level as well, the 25,800. Potentially we could see maybe a bit of a correction here back to the upside, where the index could potentially then stall for a little bit, and well, until the the bulls and the bears figure out who's going to take control from here. And if the bulls going to fail to do that, then we could see further declines here to the downside. As also you can see that yesterday the index found its support near the 100 EMA here, shown as the green line, which is also around the this important zone here around the 25,600. So so just slightly below that, of course. The index, the futures market here closed slightly below that, but again, like I said, for now we're still more to the bearish side, kind of leaning more to the bearish side. And in a way, if, like I said, if we're going to get a small correction here back to the upside, so keep your eyes on this 25,800. This is the area where could potentially more bears start jumping in and driving this index back down here. Now, slightly on the more of a, should I say, more near-term target here could be this area here around 24,970. If you want to round it up slightly higher here towards the psychological 25,000, this could be our next potential target. If, of course, if this continues to drop further. So guys, I mean, keep your eyes on that one, keep your eyes on the 25,000, psychological one. We also do have the 200 EMA approaching that level as well, the 25,000 level, and that's why it could play out as a nice potential area of support. So for now, like I said, we are more to the bearish side. On the upside, well, again, it's a bit difficult with the upside here, but nevertheless, for us to get more comfortable with the upside, we would need to see a nice good break here above the upside support line. And then, of course, for maybe a better confirmation in terms of going higher here, we would need to wait until it would get above the 26,350, and this way we could then potentially aim for the levels that we saw here in the beginning of in the first days of October, of course, and in the last days of September. So again, but the upside, it's a bit difficult to talk about the upside as it's kind of slightly off the table. Similar stories with S&P. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but this is what I was talking about in my previous videos as well. I was talking about this rising channel formation, which perfectly got broken to the downside here, and now of course we're targeting the this potential area here of support here at around 2770. So keep your eyes on that one. And of course potentially we could hit this 200 EMA as well, just for a quick test, but if that doesn't stop, I mean, we could continue traveling further here towards the lows that we saw around the June time, the end of June, and that's approximately around the 2690 mark. So something like this could be possible, of course, but again, it's quite a bit of a drastic jump here, but nevertheless, keep your eyes on that one. This is a good potential area of support, but only we'll consider that if we get a nice drop here below the 2770, or actually another good drop below the 200 EMA. So keep your eyes on that one. Keep your eyes on the daily chart. Certainly we could see maybe a bit of correction here coming in. A good potential area to keep an eye on for the resistance could be approximately around the 2820. That was marked here by the lows that we saw around the mid-August. So this level here, this area here, kind of held the rate nicely from moving lower, from actually closing lower, and kind of acted as a very nice bouncing ground for the index to travel higher. So that's why keep your eyes, if we're going to get a nice reversal here, keep your eyes on the 2820 zone. Let's see if it plays out nicely, where actually the bears could start jumping in here and potentially driving the index back down here. So something like this could be possible, but then again, for now, keep your eyes on the 2770. Looking at gold, and gold is performing quite nicely today, so having a nice pop here to the upside. So finally breaking this downside resistance line taken from the peak of the 11th of April. Certainly this, even though it's kind of leaning more towards, we're leaning more towards the bullish side, but for better confirmation, as you probably can see by the chart here, we would need to get a nice good break here and a close above the 1215 zone, and this way we could then target the levels like 1235. Slightly above that we do have the 1245, and eventually maybe hitting this 200 EMA, or even above that the 1266. Now of course I've mentioned a lot of levels here right now, but initially of course we could potentially be aiming for the 1215 as being the upper side of the range here that the gold is kind of trading in still. So for now, of course, looking at this picture, it seems more bullish than bearish, but then again, be very careful. If let's see how this day is going to evolve and where this daily candle is going to close. And if we're gonna get a nice close here today above this downside resistance line, yep, keep your eyes on the 1215. But if this suddenly gets back below the downside resistance line and closes below the also below this 50 EMA here, shown as the red line, now this could be a bit of a worry signal potentially, of course, and we'll just have to see how it performs tomorrow. So it would be a bit difficult to kind of be more positive. So if, like I said, if we're going to stay below this downside resistance line, we're just going to take the neutral stand for now. But then again, like I said, let's see how this daily candle is going to close. Jumping into USDJPY, so overall still within a downtrend here, within a short-term downtrend, of course. We've managed to break this upside support line, the short-term upside support line taken from the lows of the 7th of September, and continues to travel lower. Now let me just jump into a daily, a 4-hour chart in this one. As you can see here, we're getting a bit of a rebound here right now. We've managed to test this level right here at around 111.95 area, approximately there, and now it seems that the pair is kind of aiming towards this potential resistance zone here at around 112.50. Now this level also coincides here with the 200 EMA. Now initially, of course, this is going to be the target to watch, and if it's going to stall here, and if you will see that actually it's struggling to overcome it, now potentially we could see a move like this. Let me just put an arrow here for future reference. In a way, we could get a rejection, and we could see maybe the bears stepping in and potentially driving this one back down here towards the levels that we saw recently here, or to be more specific, yesterday. we could see a possible test of the 111.95 again, but again, for that to see, we would need to get a nice rejection here from the 112.50. If this travels higher, well, be very cautious. This could be our kind of neutral zone for now. We're just going to continue observing this one because for us to get more comfortable with the upside from the short-term perspective, of course, you could start looking at this level right here, the 112.80, but for much better probably confirmation here, we could potentially wait and see until it kind of gets back above the 113.25 zone, approximately there, of course, and then we could potentially aim for the highs here. So yep, so keep your eyes on that one, of course. Keep your eyes on these levels that I was just mentioning here. So basically, initially, long story short, initially keep your eyes on the 112.50, and let's see how it plays out from here. Jumping into NZDUSD. So okay, basically, we're looking at this 4-hour chart. It's showing some signs of well, some bullish signs here right now. Of course, as you can see, we've managed to take out the highs that we saw around the 9th of October, and well, just basically 2 days ago, and that was approximately around the 0.6495 area. So we managed to take that out. Initially, of course, we saw this nice spike to the upside, but as you can see, it's kind of struggling. The bulls are kind of struggling to keep pace, and the bears are kicking in here right now and trying to push this this pair back down. Now, of course, for now, just keep your eyes on this 0.65 zone. This is going to be probably more of a psychological level to watch, and if this is going to close below this now, this is going to be quite interesting. Let's say if the day is going to close below this right now, so we could see maybe a bit of weakness kicking in again. We could see maybe a slide back down here. For us, if we're going to see something like this, then we're just going to probably wait and see what it wants to do, because from the more of a near-term perspective, or the medium-term perspective, something like that, basically, for us to get more comfortable with the downside in this scenario here, we would need to get a nice break and a close below the 0.6420 zone. Now this way we could then aim for much lower levels here. Actually, let me just lift this chart a little bit, guys, so that we could see some potential good areas of support. And let me just jump into the daily chart on this one, guys. Oops, do apologize for that. And so basically we do have another level here underneath, which just quickly let me mark that one for you, and that's approximately around the 0.6350 zone. So that was the low of the January low of 2016. So very nice potential area of support, but only if we get back below this this level right here. Let me just jump into the 4-hour chart. Sorry for jumping around here a little bit, but nevertheless, I just wanted to quickly point out the levels. So basically, from the downside here, we would need to see a nice good break and a close below this 0.6420 in order to kind of consider further declines. So for now, in a way, we're just gonna observe this one. If we're going to stay below the 0.65 zone, we're going to continue observing this pair, going to stay neutral and wait until for a better confirmation. Now, if this of course is going to continue traveling higher, and we're going to see a nice break and actually a close above this 0.65 level, a close on the daily chart, of course. This way we could then consider a possible move towards the 0.6540. Now this level here acted as a very nice area of support here around the 14th of September, the 13th of September, of course, and sometime in the beginning of September as well. So quite an important level. In the past it acted as support, so now it could become quite an important level of resistance. So, but for that level here to see, we would need to get a nice good break and a close, or should I probably more reiterate that a nice close above that level, above the 0.65 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. Let's see how this plays out, but to be honest, definitely this is something of an interest for us right now, and just to see how this evolves, and we could potentially squeeze a few pips out of it. And jumping into EURSEK, now the euro against the Swedish crown here. Let me just put a daily chart on this one, guys. So basically we are still within an uptrend, and should I probably say that we're still hanging around above this upside support line, this long-term upside support line taken from the 9th of October 2017. We're here, but probably from the shorter term perspective, as you can see, we are still above the this medium-term upside support line taken from the end of January, the 31st of January this year. So today we've managed to test that line here, as you can see perfectly. At some point, of course, we managed to break that, but as you can see, the bulls kind of quickly got back above it, and now we're just hanging around here. If this is going to stay here today like this, if this daily candle is going to form above it, then we could potentially maybe see a bit of a correction here back to the upside, but of course, keep your eyes on the lower levels here. If this is gonna close where it is right now, the next, probably tomorrow's candle, is gonna probably open outside of it here, and we could maybe see further declines here towards the potential area of support around the 10.3520. This could be a nice area of support initially, but if that doesn't hold, we do have a better one here near the 2870 zone, so approximately there. This was marked by the lows that we saw in the end of September, and that could initially play out, but again, for all this to see, we would need to get a break and a close below this this medium-term upside support line that I was talking about, and this was running here since around the 31st of January. So keep your eyes on this one. If this continues to hold, still, to be honest, we're just gonna hang around here and just gonna continue observing this pair, because for us to get more comfortable with the upside, we would need to get a reversal here, a reversal back to the upside towards the 10.5370 mark, approximately there. And if we get a nice break here, and then eventually we start breaking the 10.57 zone, now this is where it could become more interesting for the bulls, as it could open up the path towards these highs that we saw around the end of August, and of course around May time. So for now, just keep on monitoring this one. It could be a nice trade here building up, so let's see how it plays out. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful, and if you want to join me tomorrow morning, and that's going to be 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British summer time. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you, like I said, I hope you found it useful. And yep, have a nice day. Bye bye.